Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. In today's video, I'll be using Honeybee Stamp's Lovely Layers Spring Greenery, their Hexagon Solid Stack Die Set, Adventure Awaits Paper Pad, their wax seal stamper with the sentiment Happy Mail, and I'm also using one of their new wax melt colors. This is Frosted. I'll start off by making the wax seal. I have Honeybee Stamp's Silicone Mat, their wax melting furnace, and also melting spoon. I usually like to use 5 of the wax melts, but this time I'll be using 6 since I want a slightly larger wax seal. After lighting the candle, I'll place the spoon on the furnace. Now's the fun part, watching the wax melt. I did increase the speed of this video. The wax doesn't really melt quite this fast. Once most of the wax has melted, I'll use a toothpick, stir the hot wax, then I'll let it sit again for about 15 or 20 seconds. When the wax is completely melted, I'll pour it onto the silicone mat. You can also pour it into the circles on the right side of the mat if you want that perfect circle shape. I prefer my wax seals to have more of a natural look, that irregular circle shape. After pouring the hot wax onto the mat, I'll take the wax stamper, place it gently on top of the wax, trying to center it. Then I'll let that sit for about 20-30 seconds. The frosted color wax melts aren't clear, but they are translucent. With the light wax color, it's hard to see the sentiment, so I'll use a gold metallic paint marker, lightly run it over the sentiment, and now it really pops against the light wax color. I'll set the wax seal aside to let the paint dry, and I'll start working on the background of the card. I selected this fun, sort of a wood grain looking pattern paper from the Adventure Awaits collection. Cut down this panel to 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. I want the color just a little bit darker, so I'm using Catherine Pooler's Cargo ink color. I'll add ink all over this panel and a little extra on the top and bottom. Using the same Cargo ink color, I'll add a splatter to the background, so now it has more of a distressed look. I first pressed some ink onto an acrylic block, spritzed it with water. Now I'm using a paintbrush and splattering all over the pattern paper. Once that's finished, I'll set it aside to dry, and the ink color will lighten as it dries. Now I'll start working on the Lovely Layers Spring Greenery piece. Not sure what this plant is called, but I think it's really pretty. I cut out the background from some light green cardstock, and the little flower blossom, I used some off-white pearlescent cardstock. I love the pretty etched detail on all of the blossoms. One at a time, I'll glue down each of the little floral pieces. I'm using a pair of reverse tweezers to hold the tiny die cut pieces, putting some Barely Art glue on the back, then I'll match them up with the outline die cut piece. All of the little floral blooms are different, so they can only go in one spot. And if you don't want to add all the little blooms, the background piece also has that fun etched detail. So you can cut it out from one color and it's still beautiful. I love using Honeybee Stamp's Lovely Layer die sets, and they sell a wide variety. It's not just florals. I have just a couple more pieces to attach. Off camera, I assembled another floral piece. Next, I'll add a little more color to the flower pieces. I'm using the leftover ink on my brush, and I'll darken up the area where all of the single flowers connect and also the main stem. And I'll do the same thing for the other die cut. Once that's finished, I'll use Honeybee Stamp's metallic gold ink, and I'm adding just a little extra ink to the very top of all of the blooms. And instead of using a brush, I decided just to use my finger. I'm lightly tapping it on the ink pad and brushing it on the top of each of those little blooms. The gold ink will add just a little more shimmer to the flowers. With all of the natural colors I'm using, this card is very different from what I generally make. I love using lots of fun and bright colors, but sometimes it's nice to use those natural muted colors. Next, I'll layer the pattern paper background on some cardstock. This is from Coordinations. It's the Walnut Stain Distress color. I'm not sure if it's still available. I've probably had it in my craft room for years and years. I'll put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base. And this is an American Standard A2 size card, 4¼ inches by 5½ inches. Next, I'll add a couple of Hexagon die cuts. The white, I use some white shimmer cardstock, and the layered piece is the same walnut stain cardstock color. I'll layer the two pieces together and adhere it in the lower left-hand corner using some glue. Now I'll add the first floral piece, put glue on the back of the flowers and also the stem, adhere that right over the hexagons. For the second floral piece, I will put some foam dimension on the back side of the blooms and that top part of the stem. Since the flowers are fairly small, I did need to cut my foam dimension in half. I'm using scrapbook adhesives, thin foam squares in white. They also have it available in black. Once I have a piece behind all of the flowers, I'll remove the release paper, add glue on the stem, and I'll adhere it on the left side of the card, overlapping the first floral piece. As I started to place the floral die cut piece, I realized the very left side was hanging off the end of the card, but I didn't have very many areas attached yet, but I was able to lift it up and move it to the right just a bit. Now it's time to add the wax seal. To adhere the wax seal onto the card, I'm using Honeybee Stamps wax seal stickers. These are really nice and super sticky. I love that they have the little tab so it's easy to remove the release paper. I'll first put the sticker on the back of the seal, and I didn't realize at first that the sticker was still on the release paper. It's very clear, so it is hard to see. Took a couple times pressing firmly onto it, but I was able to get that sticker on the back of the wax seal. Then I'll adhere it in the center of the hexagons. For a final finishing touch, I'll add some of the Shimmer and Shine enamel stickers. I'm using the clear color. I'll put 2 in the lower left-hand corner, 2 in the upper right-hand corner, and 1 underneath the blooms on the right side. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. I really like how this turned out with the beautiful neutral colors. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links provided in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.